All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are joined by head women's soccer coach, Nikki Izzo-Brown. We'll go ahead and start everything off this afternoon with an opening statement from coach to preview this week's matches against Georgetown and St. Francis. And then we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. Coach, you can go ahead.
Yeah, it seems to be the typical, okay, we got another ranked team coming to town. We're excited to have Georgetown. Obviously, they come with a ton of success and traditions. So it's going to be a battle tomorrow night.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. Just a reminder to use the raise hand feature. We'll start things off with Sam Caniglio.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, Sam. How you doing?
Doing great, thanks. You've had several days to look over the film since Penn State. You've had a lot of practice in the meantime. How's everything going heading into Georgetown?
Yeah, I think I spoke to this. I can't even remember after the game. We created a lot of chances at Penn State. We were disappointed that we were unable to convert those chances. So I think we realize as a team that we're creating great chances and now it's about finishing. So we know that Georgetown, again, is, a high scoring team. They don't give up a lot of goals. So we really have to be laser focused and make sure that, we are mentally ready for, a tough opponent coming in, and don't make that mental mistake, but also finish.
Sam, you can continue.
Yeah, like you said, they're a high-scoring team with a lot of experienced players. Gia Vicari is a junior. They have several graduate students on their starting lineup. So they're going to be a tough opponent. What do you see about them?
Yeah, they're very organized. Dave does a great job organizing them. They have a very good idea of, what their job is and what they have to do. So again, it's going to be who makes the mistake and who capitalizes, because both teams, are hunting to win and, have played tough opponents thus far. So it's going to be a real grudge match. But both teams are, going to have a game plan, and we'll just see who can execute.
Liam Bellin, you're up next.
Hi, Coach. So I thought the performance against Penn State was a pretty significant improvement from the one against Virginia, another big ranked opponent. Obviously, you didn't get the result that you wanted, but do you take that momentum going forward against Georgetown, and how do you kind of work that into your plan there to get a result?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're here to win. So we all hate those moral victories, but the team understands that the chances were created, and we are just continuing to, hunt that consistency. And that's what we need to focus on is, how can we string that 90-minute game together consistently? And it is encouraging. And I'm glad that you recognized we were better. But at the end of the day, we got to get a result.
Sam, go ahead.
Coach, I don't know if you look into the history books a whole lot, but you played Georgetown quite a bit, obviously. And in fact, they're the team against whom you have the most wins. Now, what I see you're kind of impressed by that. I guess, why do you keep scheduling them? Is that kind of a Big East hangover? Is that you have a good relationship with Coach Nolan? What brings them back to town all the time?
Yeah, obviously location. I think both Dave and I are very good friends. So there's definitely a friendship and a mutual respect for each other. It makes sense with travel and nowadays, him being, in his situation and us being in ours. It's just a really strong opponent that we think both programs will see a lot out of. And, it's going to be a great game.
Any other questions for Coach? Liam, go ahead.
All right. One more thing, Coach. Obviously, about 2 weeks until you get into Big 12 play. Obviously, that's going to be a bit of a gauntlet with a few very strong teams in there. And so how do you take those, obviously a big Georgetown match ahead of you, but also a few tune-ups between there and that Iowa State match to get ready and try and make a run at a Big 12 title?
Yeah, it's, I could be scheduling opponents that aren't as good as Georgetown, Virginia, Penn State. And I just think that these opponents are really showing us areas that we need to improve before, we get into conference play. And obviously JMU, I mean, Bucknell has shown us things, everyone does. But again, when you're playing against bigger, stronger, faster Georgetown's, Penn State's, UVA, you're really seeing where you have to make adjustments because, the TCUs and the Iowa States, they're going to be a heck of a matchup. So, my hope is, we have preseason is one season, then you have non-conference season, and then you go into conference play and then postseason. So it's really important that, we're gaining a lot of ground with our non-conference schedule, just because I think there's 3 opponents right now in the Big 12 that are ranked that we're ready for it.
All right, we'll finish things up this afternoon with Sam Caniglio.
They played 3 matches to a draw. So they pretty much played 5 games and maybe another half and more. You got to check my math on that one. But, is there a difficulty in playing a team that's, played so many extra minutes and played such competitive soccer in that span?
I mean, of course, they definitely have more experience and more minutes. So I think they've learned how to get a result in overtime. So I would look to that and say, they've had some success there. So yeah, anytime you got a group of girls together, Dave is going to realize what his team is capable of or incapable of. So I think every opportunity when the whistle blows, coaches are going to gain some perspective, and the team too themselves.
All right, thanks everyone for joining us this afternoon.